y'all think, boys? We got some music tonight.
Man, I don't think it could get any better, Wes. 9.1.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good, Wes. I'll give you a 9.1 as well, just because. But did y'all notice that the countdown didn't play or no? Did y'all notice that on y'all side or no?
I thought it played for me.
Played for me as well.
Did it play the countdown? The 15? Okay, because on my side, it said blank browser failed to load the. So it was just. I was just looking at a black screen the whole time, and I was like, I wonder if this is working or not.
See, Bill, now you know the gremlins I've dealt with the last 2 weeks. That's not fun, is it? It's not. So
I know I make it look easy, but boys, it ain't.
I may have wired that to your computer just to shut you the fuck up.
Man, I was just staring at a black screen, and it said, my microphone's muted, so I couldn't even talk. So I was like, well, fuck it. We'll see what happens after 15 or 20 seconds and see if it works. But I guess it works.
Rusty, you're winning a free T-shirt tonight, man. I appreciate the 9.3. Makes me feel good.
Thanks, Rusty.
Appreciate it,
man. Well,
hey, man, good to see you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't talked to Phil. I hadn't talked to him since Alaska, and shit, he's still there. I thought he was on the move.
We're on the move. We just ain't left the state.
This is like that "Where in the World's Carmen Sandiego." Like home is a place you just show up occasionally and wash clothes, right?
Man, not even occasionally at this point. So forgot how to get there. The dogs are gonna like, who are y'all?
There's Pfeiffer's, and I hope we have 185 people watching the show. I think we do, Pfeiffer. I think we have 185.
It'll definitely help if you guys will like and share the show right now. Stop what you're doing, like, subscribe, share it. Let's talk about it. Let's get at least 400 people on tonight.
Mm-hmm. Let's at least get 185. Shoot.
But we're gonna blow past that. We're almost there now.
Man, we probably should lead straight into Cuero since we're. Man, I think that. Man, what was the team count on that? I'm reading different things.
Yeah.
Go eat a dick,
Daddy. I think Eddie just posted the official team count. It was 1,850.
Every bit of it.
150. So,
man, Bill, I'm glad you were able to make the show tonight. I figured you'd still be counting your money, wouldn't be able to make it.
Man, I tell you what, it did take a while to count it all up. I promise you that. It wasn't they kept handing me money every time I went up there, and I didn't really understand it, but I wasn't turning any of it away,
I didn't really understand it, but I kept taking it.
And they had they had a lot of different kind of jackpots, and man, two of the jackpots were, I guess, these bounties, and you had to beat. They had two cooks picked out, Ira and Zach, and if you beat those two cooks, you got an extra $500.
What?
But those two cooks had to finish in the top 10 in order for them to pay out, and. Man, Ira finished 10th overall, which if he would have finished 11th, man, nobody would have got any bounty money. But the fact that he finished 10th, everybody above him got $500. And Zach, Meat Locker Misfits, he finished 4th. Same thing with him. Everybody above 4th place got an extra 500. So, man, I walked up there. Oh, here's an extra 1,000, and for the bounty. I didn't really know what the bounties were, and man, I took the $1,000. So, man, it was. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a great fucking. I mean, I thought it was great, man. Every 30 minutes, you're turning in a meat. Alternating sanction bodies. I thought it was great. So.
Can we get Brandon Perryman in here to discuss that, if you don't mind? I'm gonna send him a link real quick. Brandon.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring you in live to discuss what you liked and didn't like about that.
I ran Brandon's timeline that he put on Facebook, so that I had his timeline pinned to the wall,
Man, we used to have a pop-up for this kind of barbecue drama situation, Wes. I don't know, we might have lost that.
I'm just glad my buttons are working right now. And
oh shit, he found it.
We're there. I'm scared if I hit
yeah.
something wrong, it's going to go black on me. So
Pops up every couple
he
months.
said, "No, I'm not available." Hey, I will say, Brandon, I got to give you props. You've had a lot of positive posts the last couple of days. Real nice and uplifting. So I see you've kind of changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Best with you, brother.
Oh, they gave him shit at the Cooks meeting too. The Cooks meeting, they were grinding. Oh yeah, Brandon. But he took it like a man. Good for him. You know,
he don't care, man.
No, he don't give a shit. So
that's what I like about him. He don't give a shit.
Yeah, they're winding up for next year already, and I think they're going to do maybe a 6-pack series type deal, you know. And but you know, Brandon will know all the details because I think they're running it all by him, you know, before they publish it.
We'll run it by the board. Always forward barbecue.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Looked like y'all had a good time, and it looked like they had a pile of money, Bill. I don't know if you want to talk about how much you made, but you reserved, and you were was it 4th overall or something on the whole?
Yeah. And I kind of screwed myself on.
No big deal.
I kind of screwed myself on the overall because you know, they were just going to add the points, you know, of however many points you got in CBA versus how many points you got in IBCA, and you know, merge the two together. And I was kind of talking to them, and I was telling them, hey, if you do that, man, there could be some pretty big discrepancies, you know, between grand and reserve or grand and 10th, and you should just do, if you finish grand, that's 1, you know, and if you finish in the other one 5th, which Paul did, that's a 5, and man, whoever's got the lowest number wins, you know. He would have a 6, as opposed to, I kind of gave the example of Austin Rodeo. When I won Austin Rodeo, there was a 15-point gap between me and reserve. Well, if that reserve ends up granding the other sanctioning body, man, and there's only a 10-point gap between 1st and 10th, you know, you could have the person GC1 and 10th place in another win the whole thing on points, and the other team have a grand and a reserve and end up, you know, 3rd or 4th place overall because of the way the points work. So, but if I would have just kept my mouth shut, I would have been reserve, you know, because there was a big gap between at the top of IBCA and, you know, down, you know, further down IBCA. But it is what it is, man. I still made a shit pile of money, and I ended up almost, I mean, it was almost $6,000. So, man, I ain't got no complaints, you know.
Yeah, the play would have been Bill. KCBS double right there is what you just did.
No, probably could have talked them into paying out both ways, you know, the adding the spot and adding the points.
Yeah. Man, I told Fred, I said, we ought to do like some CBAs like that, you know, where every 30 minutes, you know, 12 o'clock you turn in chicken, 12:30 turn in another chicken, you know. Man, I thought it was, like I said, I thought it was a lot of fun, and it was, you know, a whole change of pace. And man, there were some people that missed turn in, and that, but man, it felt pretty smooth for me. You know, I didn't really.
What were the turn ins, Bill? What did y'all end up with the turn in times? What were they?
They actually switched all the turn ins for CBA. We went backwards 30 minutes, so they started at 11:30. Yeah. And then IBCA was their normal turn-ins, which was 12:133. So you really had an hour break on ribs because 11:30 was CBA chicken, 12 o'clock was IBCA chicken, 12:30 CBA ribs, and then you didn't have another turn-in until 1:30.
Okay. So you had two at 1:30?
Yeah, at 1:30 you had CBA pork and IBCA ribs at the same time. So
that is
but IBCA you got a 10-minute after window. So
sure.
You turn your pork in like you normally do, you know, and be ready to get your ribs going, you know. So it was and then brisket was 2:30 CBA and 3 o'clock IBCA.
So Bill,
I cooked one brisket, and you know there were several teams cooking too. So I just processed my normal CBA brisket and sliced up, put 8 slices in a in the Cambro, when I sliced up the CBA, grabbed 8 of them, threw them in the Cambro with some au jus, and waited for the IBCA turn-in. So,
how much more meat did you cook for both? I mean, I know you didn't double everything. I mean, you may have, but I'm assuming you added maybe 2 more slabs of ribs. Another.
I did. On ribs, I did cook 5 racks of ribs.
Okay.
I cooked, and I started ribs at 2 different times. I started my CBA ribs and IBCA ribs an hour apart from one another.
Okay.
So because there was an hour difference in the turn-in time. CBA ribs were 12:30, IBCA ribs were 1:30. So that I actually did. And chicken, I cooked a bunch of different chicken just so I could have options. I cooked 2 chicken halves. I cooked wings and I cooked legs.
Okay.
And then I was just going to figure out what I was going to turn in when it came down to, try the wings, try the legs. Obviously, I couldn't try the half. So, I ended up turning in the halves, 1 half for CBA and 1 half for IBCA. So, but I didn't really care for the. I did put a couple of legs in the box. I pulled a KP. We threw a couple of legs in the box on the CBA. But the wings to me weren't tender enough. They just didn't. They needed more time, and part of that was me kind of being a little bit asleep at the wheel as far as not putting them on early enough. So, but yeah, I had 3 different options on chicken. So, and I knew default I could just throw a half in each box and be okay, So, and both the halves looked great. I felt like they cooked really good, and man, I was pretty encouraged when I got 12 chicken on IBCA because that was the second half I turned in. 11:30 was the first half, and just with the half of it getting 12th, and there was 100 teams on that one. But it is what it is, man. I ended up getting a freaking 60th on chicken and CBA, which, there was some pretty rough tables. And I think in both sanctioning bodies, there were rough tables, Right. I know, a couple of cooks, really good rib cooks got hammered in ribs and, in one of the sanctioning bodies. So it is what it is, so, I ended up 14th in CBA and reserve for IBCA, and that ended up just the overall alone, man. They were paying out. I mean, the overall, just 4th place overall, paid out $2,000.
Shit.
Just the combined overall. The combined overall paid more than RGC. RGC was,
Unreal.
I had to look at the big check. It was $1,250 for RGC. So.
He's got to go through them. He's got so many back there. No,
but yeah.
Bill, I know where you were at. Your trophies, man, I don't give a shit what they're paying. Those are pretty badass trophies, man. I like the hell out of those.
Which one are we talking about, Wes?
Salmon trophy.
Oh yeah, they were super sweet, man. They were, I assume they were hand carved or whatever, but nice colors in them, and man, just a unique trophy. Like,
damn right,
man. That's my first fish trophy.
Yeah,
I fished a lot. That's my first fish trophy, so I was happy with that portion of it. I was really hoping I'd be about like 0.012 points, a little higher in my score, but I wasn't. So.
Yeah, well, any day you could cook up in Alaska and you still pull over 700 and you win that big pot that they were paying out. It is a good day. It's a good day.
Well, let's just look. So it was a great contest. I mean, man, let's face it, they're in Alaska, so they fight some serious battles as far as trying to bring a barbecue competition to Alaska. Yeah. They're kind of fighting it from both sides, right? So you don't have a ton of teams that cook up here, but you do have some teams who want to, and then you need teams to come up to have the team count. But then you have teams that come up, and it's like, whoa, I'm not going to cook it now because those guys are cooking it. So you got a lot of unique battles going on, but man, it is an auto to the jack, and obviously that's the draw to bring in other teams to come up there and do this cook-off. We had 8 teams, so you're not going to pull together without some kind of, astronomical sponsorship, a ton of money. I mean, I thought the payout was pretty good considering, right? And man, they did a good job. SCA involved. They had an SCA steak. They had several ancillaries. Let me think. They had a cocktail. They had a taco category, and they had yak.
Yak, yeah,
man.
The yak. I didn't even tell everybody what yak is because man, I didn't know what a yak was.
Yeah. So it was our first yak off. They called it the yak off.
It wasn't your first yak off.
No, and I'm serious. And I told Carmen, I'm like, babe, I'm not doing the yak off. I think you should do the yak off. You're better at it than me. She's like, yes, you're right. I'll do the yak off. So
it took some time.
Yeah, and they were, they really wanted, obviously being a small contest, the more participation. Brad came up. So Brad, he was just doing the SCA and he did the yak because it's cool, right?
Yeah.
And to answer your question, Bill, I don't know if I know exactly what a yak is, but it kind of looks like a Highland cow or something. So like kind of like cattle with long hair, moppy looking hair, weird droop over their face.
It's a baby cow is what it is. It's what it is.
Yeah. Man, Google would probably do a lot better at this than me, but man, it's a yak, so some cow looking animal. But it's got a gamey flavor. So it doesn't taste like beef. It's on the gamier side, but kind of maybe a little bit of, it was unique, man. I haven't really tasted anything like it. She thought it was run under KCBS where you could do a tray or whatnot. And she was going to do like burgers with it, make like 6 and like, oh, okay, it's SCA. Here's your box. Like, ooh, you ain't putting 6 burgers in there. So she ended up switching gears and going yak bombs.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it was close at the top, and Carmen ended up getting second in the yak off. Which probably hit a bad table. But no, that went really well. And then man, she did the taco and she did the yak. She ended up being she won the taco, did Al Pastor tacos and won the taco category. And then, man, there was over a 3-day course. So Friday they had a kids queue. Saturday they did a bunch of the ancillaries, and then Sunday was the KCBS. And yeah, we had the KCBS, and man, we had a good cook, relatively good cook. I was most worried about my pork. We were Cambro and everything, and I say Cambro, and we had a cooler, so everything was going in a cooler with towels, right? Just kind of old school in it. We're a pop up 2-bar drums, these 55 supers. I'd never cooked on them. They got a different looking deflector plate, kind of like the Hunsaker's, with the fins and all that.
Yeah.
And one of them was running perfect, and the other one I couldn't get temp up. I'm like, man, it was reading like 320, and I'm like, man, there's no way it's not even 200 degrees. So I yanked that deflector out and just ran it open. And man, we had a good cook, and I thought, man, meats were good. I went to box pork, and I'm like, whoa, that's soft, like that's real soft. We were soft on pork, so I was worried about that. We ended up getting third, but tied for first, so I'm like, man, we didn't lose any points on pork. That's a win. And I wasn't worried about brisket, but man, it was 3 points difference in brisket, and that was just enough to lose by 0.0116. But we snagged a really cool salmon, so we're gonna hang on to that. We're gonna latch on tight, and man, we're up in the mountains right now at a buddy's place, and staring at like snow-capped mountains everywhere. Man, it's really cool up here. It's a different world. It's my first time to Alaska, and man, we plan on coming back. Super cool.
Nice. Well, man, our guest tonight, he's in the green room, and man, he's had his share of reserves and thirds. Me and you've watched it. Man, he got 5 bungs pretty quick, and man, the last several months it's been kind of a battle watching him get so close. But man, he actually pulled it off this weekend up there in Vermont. So we'll yank him on here and see if his technical style. There he is. His lighting is somewhat questionable. We can't see you, Robert. You gotta get some lights.
Is this a hostage situation? Are we paying to keep it
tonight on the show? We have Robert's silhouette.
Yeah.
But it's probably the only place in the house that gets service, if I had to guess.
It probably is. Are you there, Bubba?
Yeah, I probably need to turn some lights on. Yeah, I just got to turn some lights on. We had a bad storm come through here today, and it knocked every damn thing out we had.
Right. Shit. Yeah, it came through
Y'all
here
hear
too.
me at all?
Yeah, we got you. We hear you loud and clear. Yeah.
Yeah, we got the audio, so we know it's you. Hey, first off, man, big congrats, Bobby. Shit, that's badass. I know it's something you've been chasing for a really long time, and to see it happen, man. As it dwindles down, we're watching this unfold, and it's like, oh man, come on, get 7, Robert. But
Get it.
Man,
Get it.
you switched gears and figured out a different route, and it don't matter, right? So Congrats, buddy.
It was. Let's see if we can do something here. Let's see.
Where's Carissa at?
Oh, she's right over there. Turn that light on for me, babe.
See if she can hit the light switch.
Or maybe even a flashlight in your face. There we go.
There we go. Hey, I even stole
really
monkey
played.
down earplug. These ear things, because them other damn earbuds hurt my damn ear.
He's playing Madden 24 while he's talking to us.
Oh man, it's been tough. Woo.
Well, tell us all about it, man. How was that trip to Vermont?
Man, it all started with trying to I wanted to take my ass down to Cuero and get some of that damn money. I wanted to be there. Pepper got on me about 2 months
bullshit.
ago.
I'm gonna hit the bullshit button, Robert.
Yeah, Pepper got on me 2 months ago, and he was like, "Look, we gotta go to Vermont. We gotta go to Vermont." And I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "We gotta book today. Book today." And I was like, "Come on." I said, "Man, normally I wait till a day or two before to figure out where I'm going." And he was like, "No, let's book them now. That way we can be on the same flight, same everything." I said, "All right, let's book it." Boop.
Well, hang on a second. Hang on. I'm gonna interject here because man, Pepper was scheming the whole time. He was scheming because he done told me. He said, "Hey, we're gonna book these flights, and if Robert gets his 7, I'll cook Vermont. Me and Robert, I'll cook it, and I'll get to go to the Jack." So he was trying to get you locked into Vermont early. That way, let's go ahead and get here and. Man, I'll go ahead and do it, So.
Yep. So he had it. He had his little deal that he was easing around and everything. So, and then by the time I realized, because I'd already told Randy and I'd already told Ashley, I'd already told all them that, man, hey, y'all come over here. We'll cook together. I'll cook with you, Randy. I'll cook with you, Ashley, and we'll do like 2 big ass teams and take all the money. And then all of a sudden. Hey, that's wrong. You can't go there because that's Vermont. And I was like, oh, okay. So whenever I realized about 3 weeks ago that I wasn't going to Cuero, I started backing up and having to call Ashley and having to call Randy and call everybody. And I said, all right, here we go. Let's figure this out. And Saturday was the worst when I was in Vermont because, man, as you guys know, they cook on Sundays. So it was sitting there watching the awards in Cuero and seeing you guys holding big ass checks. And man, I'm sitting out, but I was holding a cold one. So, but man, it all started when it finally became we're going to Vermont. I reached out to 2 of the baddest son of bitches, that travel a lot, and I reached out to Chris Schaefer and Brad, and I was like, all right, how do we go do this shit? And he was like, well, you got to freeze your ribs, you got to buy you a little rolling bag, and take as much of that damn trailer as you can so you feel comfortable. And man, it worked out. It worked out great. Buddy sure scared the ever loving shit out of me. I'm gonna tell you that. So it was one of those deals. Whenever we came up to us, they came up to us Sunday about 10 minutes before awards, and they said, "Guess what? Somebody's going to the Jack today." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And I said, "Uh-oh." So, and you guys know me. Yeah, I started drinking a little bit, and I started drinking a little bit more. And the old cigar come out, and the cigarettes come out, and I said, "Oh shit!" And then
what's Pfeiffer about part 2 of his plan coming up? Now he's got part 2 of his plan starts. What's he angling now?
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, buddy.
Oh yeah. So him, yeah. So he done. They done figured out what all them are autos, and he's like, oh yeah, now I can get me a bung. I'm gonna try and get me a bung. So shit. Whew. I'm gonna tell you, just but man, I'm gonna tell you, it was I'm gonna tell you, we got when we were sitting up there and they called me third place chicken, and we still had two more bad son bitches sitting next to me.
Thanks, Todd.
And Buddy jumped up. Buddy jumped up and got him a first place chicken, and man, I felt good about my ribs. We jumped up there, and man, they got third in ribs, and guess what? Buddy got first. Oh shit. We just went off so that we could watch Buddy get his first jack, and we got the fork, and I think he got third, and I got first. And so we were like, here we go. And Buddy cooks a real good brisket. Of course, you know, he's running the class, and I was, you know, it was just going to come down to it. And he got a sixth in brisket, and I got another third. So I just kind of eased on around there, and we were just waiting to see how the damn nails fell, and lo and behold, it was my day. That was it. It was my day. And I sent Pam a message this morning, and everybody's like, well, how do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? And I said, not until you hear Pam tell you that you're going to the Jack in October. That's when it really hits you. And it did today. So I was really happy.
Nice. And did you think when they were doing the overall, did you think Buddy was probably going to get it? Or did you feel like you had
I thought no, I mean, I felt because you always know in CBA that those 1, 2, 3s, you know, those numbers could be pretty close if they were judging right. And then you know, the separation was going to be that third and sixth. Man, that's only 3 spots. So it's you have to wait and see how it worked out. And man, we definitely were there because, you know, you definitely want to see. Man, I hate to say it, but I call all the guys that went to the classroom and kids. You know, I really want to see them succeed, and I really want to see them do good together. But at that day, I wanted to kick his ass in the leg.
When you said good luck, you didn't mean it.
Not at all. Not at all. God damn it.
Oh, he had a 1-1-2. He had a 1-1-2-6. So
yes,
you had a 3-3-1-3.
Yes.
And his added up to 9, and yours added up to 10 if you just add the spots up. So yeah, you just don't know what that separation is.
No.
Well, I tell you what, I was watching the Facebook deal, and everybody on the face, because I missed. You know, I was actually napping in my chair, and man, when I came to from a nap, man, they were starting to call the top 10. And looking at all the comments, everybody's like, "Oh, Buddy's got it. Buddy's won it. Buddy's won it. Oh, we're about to do the top 10." And I'm like, "Shit, Robert's going to be." He done got his ass kicked by one of his students, you know. And Buddy's vocal that he
All the way up in
runs
Vermont.
Yeah, I mean, Buddy's been not saying anything Buddy hadn't put out there that, you know, he's definitely a big proponent of the first class dumps. And I thought, shit, man, Bobby's gonna get beat by his own dumps, you know. You might start dumping something else in those dumps, Robert, you know. You know.
We may have to talk to Phil about that because you know, you know, there's only
is it time to re-engineer something?
There's new motors coming. Damn
New motors.
Right.
But yeah, it was one of those deals where the difference was actually in pork. The difference between first and second place pork was like 5-6 points, and so I gained those points back from my chicken and my ribs. And then whenever we got to brisket, the difference between my third place brisket and his sticks was actually 4 points. So it made up on it really, really fast. But still, Standing there with such people, Dustin and Pepper. We all went to Vermont. It was all, rough. They all put every damn thing they had in a suitcase, just like Phil's doing right now. So it was about as even playing field as you could have. I took 3 damn things out of my trailer. The only thing I left in Texas was the wheels.
You brought it all, huh? How much did that suitcase weigh, Robert?
I brought it all.
How much that
It
suitcase
cost me
weigh?
$200 to ship it. It cost me $200 to ship it. Suitcase weighed 87 pounds.
Well, if you would have done 250 pounders, it would have cost under $100 just for future reference. But I always try to keep mine. Man, Robert's gone, everybody's gone, but I'll talk about travel because I've been asked about that a little bit. But
I got your back, brother.
Yeah, it's all good. Man, I try to keep mine under 50 pounds when I'm doing all the extra shit. So I kind of pick my battles on stuff I really want to have with me. On the meats, like Robert said, man, I freeze my meats. I freeze my brisket, my ribs, and pork. I just buy chicken when I get there. And, man, I stuff all that frozen in my carry-on suitcase. I did that in Minnesota. It was 12 hours from when I left to go to the airport till I got to where I was going in Alaska, and everything was still frozen solid. I mean, granted, it wasn't 120 degrees, but it was still, man, it was around 80 when we left Minnesota. So everything stays frozen really well. You might get some weird looks going through the little TSA with the cameras and shit, but it's all good. Just meat.
Do you have to like open it up and show them, or do they usually bring it out and like what the fuck we have here, or not really?
And most of the time they don't even open it up, and I've seen it on the screen watching what they see, and you can see the rib bones. Like, man, I would feel like that would be a red flag. Like, man, how do they know what kind of bones those are? It obviously looks like bones, and man, they didn't even check. But this time they did, because I had, I had several racks of ribs. I had 4 or 5 money muscles. I've got a brisket, a point. Man, it was stuffed pretty solid, and it kicked it over. And the guy came up. Is this your back? Yeah. Step over here. I'm like, here we go. Anyway, and he just opened it up and he goes, what is it? And I said, man, it's meat, for a barbecue competition.
It's phosphates. I swear to God, it's phosphates.
Yeah. So, and on that note, but anyway, the guy was real cool, and he's like, no, it just flat because it's a big mass, and you couldn't really tell what it was. He said, no, you're good. I mean, it wasn't 10 seconds, and man, it was good. But, seasonings and sauces and all that, I'll just tape the lids, and I'll throw them in my check-in bag. So, I'll actually check that bag. And, I had a little bit of stuff. I try to ship all that ahead of time if I can, like in a box, to the promoter or somewhere, just get an address, and that stuff's just waiting on you, and you're not having to worry about, man, when you start sending rubs and sauces and all that, man, the poundage adds up really quick when you're 1 pound at a time, or whatever. So I try to do that separate and just ship it UPS a week ahead of time, and that way all that kind of stuff's just sitting up there. You can even do that on like electronics and all that other stuff if you plan far enough in advance, and you're not paying $200 at the airport or whatever.
Yeah, I took my 2 briskets to Oregon, and man, I had them in the backpack, and they went through the TSA, and the guy looks up at me and goes, "You got briskets in there, huh?" I go, "Yeah." He said, "Nice." And man, he could tell it was briskets from looking at it through the computer. So, I mean, I'm wearing a big barbecue shirt too, so that probably helps the situation. And he's like, "Good time." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Nice, man." I didn't give a shit, So, I think they can read through those scanners and figure out a lot of it.
They're good at it. They certainly are good at it.
It'll show up, man. They can see everything they need to see. So even if you try to hide it, they don't give it down.
Yeah, I've been fortunate. I haven't had any trouble, flying around with barbecue equipment and all that stuff. So, I'm sure, it takes a bad day by one agent or whatever to change that story. But I've been pretty fortunate, not had any trouble. So,
Brian, you're not lying. The Texas TSA, it doesn't bother them at all. They're just like,
it's normal. And 6 or 8 briskets a day come through the line.
Something's up. They bring out the rubber glove.
Well, Robert has lost power at his house. We've got some storms here, so he's texted me and said, "Tell everybody I love them," but he's on lost power. So now I don't think we're going to see Robert back.
I think we already had it at the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, maybe we ought to get Pepper in here. Here to talk about plan 2.
We're gonna get the other half of the truth.
Yeah. Pepper's probably already in bed though. Little Gringo says there's an auto in Idaho this week. Man, there's an auto in Rhode Island, auto in Idaho. There are autos all over.
The one in Idaho, Gringo, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't that the one that's at the airstrip?
Yeah, to the airport. I cooked it last year.
You did that one last year, right?
Yeah, Blackfoot. It's really cool, man. You have people flying in like during the contest, and the planes it's not roped off or anything. They just fly right through the contest.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and we had awards in the hangar. So you had the big door roll up, right? And they could have brought a stage in, and we were all sitting in the hangar looking outwards doing the awards. So it's a really cool contest. I was looking at doing that one. I wanted to do that one again this year. And because we got a few days before we fly out to New Zealand from LA on July 2nd. So we've got a few days, and I just really kind of waited around too long, and everything got really expensive flight wise and stays and all that. And I'm like, wow, it's going to cost a fortune. And Rhode Island was a little less, it's further travel, but it was a little less to make the trip. So we're going to fly out Thursday and go do the one in Rhode Island.
Well, look, man, we've got this Craig Oates on here, and he's got he does all this. Craig, can you get my man a charter in Idaho? Since you're giving away all these thousands of dollars at your contest, which seemed awesome. Hook him up, get him in Idaho.
I
like the way Craig thinks. Triple in the last
year. Man, fucking Craig knocked it out of the park, man. He's my fucking hero. I love him. He fucking did great, man.
I was definitely admiring this from afar, man. He just threw shit out there. I mean, you guys had a hell of a contest, a lot of money. Jealous, man.
Oh, so you know what else he did too? Was if you got a top 5 call, you got a playing card, just a regular playing card.
Yeah.
Right. And so every top 5 call or grand reserve, you got these playing cards. And after the whole contest was over, man, whoever had the best hand with the playing cards, ended up winning another $500. And man, I actually won that as well. So,
Bill, what's this for?
Yeah. How did you win it with 2 jokers? Be honest. He knew what was going on. He had his own fucking playing cards. He just brought his own stack.
And then, man, it's like, hold on to the cards, Bill. They had all these items, and he would hold the deck of cards, and there'd be a group of items, and he'd flip over a card, 8 of hearts, and whoever had the 8 of hearts, man, got all those items. So I mean, it just kept going on and on and on. So
he said it was rigged. Oh hell!
But yeah, man, Craig gave me a lot of money this weekend, so he's my hero for sure. So
he's the unofficial sponsor of this week's episode. Just so you know, Craig.
Man, I think he was wanting to do like a CBA on Friday night and a double on Saturday. I mean, he's wanting to do a triple. I mean, he's wanting to stir it all up, which, man, I think it's great, So,
yeah.
So,
You don't have to do them all in Texas, brother. You can expand out, do some more.
Yeah, right. Man, I hope they do everywhere. Man, you get that kind of money involved and that kind of team count involved. And that kind of, noise happening around barbecue, it's just good for barbecue. It's going to make everybody want to go to that, and it's going to make other promoters make their events bigger. So I think it's just good for barbecue. So nice work, Greg.
I know. Look, it was the talk of even over, out of state, people were talking about it. So when you have that much of a main cook that everybody's in there talking about, man, that's just, like you said, that is great for barbecue. It kind of gets the excitement again.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, this high roller thing he's wanting to do, and man, maybe we'll get him on the show at one point to talk about it. But man, I think it's like a series of cook-offs. There's maybe it's 5 or 6, and there's all this added money for winning that series. So man, there's no telling what he's got up his sleeve. Cody, all I got was an ass whooping. Man, it happens. It happens to all of us. But yeah, it was. Man, it's going to be interesting to see. And man, I love it. He loves barbecue. He's into it, and man, I think it's great. you know. So, and you can tell he likes winning, you know. Man, he wants his contest to be the biggest, and man, I love it. So,
make it even bigger, man. Make it to where people just can't not cook it. They come in from all over the place.
Well, I think part of the discussion too is maybe do one KCBS and a CBA double. You know, I think he was talking about that. So man, there's no look at Wes.
Yeah. And if you don't cook KCBS a lot, you guys stay out of it. Let us 14 teams go at it. Y'all do your CBA and IPA. We don't need you in there too. Dude, I'd love it.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
Andy Reyes, the best thing about Kuro was the pre and post Facebook post. So yeah, there's been lots of stuff on Facebook, which has been good reading. You know, so.
It has been fun this past week, man. To see that, it's been entertaining to say the least.
I don't know about y'all, but we're out of popcorn over here.
How much more sunlight do you have? What time does it get dark up there?
It don't.
It kind of got brighter, and I'm sitting here thinking, hell, it's getting later, but it's getting brighter where you're at.
Well, for one, it's 5:43.
Oh,
right
yeah.
Brian Fox, $80K payout for CBA, $2.14 for KCBS.
Hey, there's no way we're going to get that all in one pot for KCBS. We're pushing the limit.
Yeah, ain't nobody guaranteeing that number. Okay, we'll work our way up to it.
Yeah, they just put that in the notes because they have to.
He goes, how much money were they paying out? I can't believe it. You know.
Hey, Bill, when you got through with all your money, did any of your payout jingle?
None of it rattled.
When you
put that many bills together, it might jingle.
Hey, he told me he had 4 people ask him his address after he posted all that money. Hey, man, where do you live?
I started thinking about that. Maybe I shouldn't have posted all that cash, but man, I had BRB Brandon. He took me to awards in his golf cart, and man, we're shoving cash in every pocket of that golf cart because man, I kept having to walk back up, you know. So I was like, man, did I get all the money out of that golf cart? You know, because there's cash stashed everywhere.
No big deal.
My wife called me and she was like, "Did you see all that damn money Bill posted?" And I had to sign on. I was like, "Fucking show off, man!" He had to pan his camera around to get it all. You couldn't see it all in the picture. So he had to take a damn panoramic shot, it looked like, just to get all
panoramic. How much money did you win? He goes, I don't know. It's good. About
hold on a second. We're
17 inches.
Yeah. And they were all hundreds, every one of them.
You were at a big money event, Wes, huh? Pussy Q paid out pretty good, huh?
Yeah, but it's an Alabama event, man. So Alabama is it doesn't matter, man. We no matter what we're doing, how good we're cooking, it is my kryptonite. So, man, all we can ever expect is the mid-packet one over there. It was they paid. It was the last one too, so there's no more Pussy Q. It's completely done forever. They did a good job. They're going to have some more cooking events, but man, we could all guess on why they're being done with it. I don't know. Me personally, I think they priced themselves out of it. You know, that much, $750 to enter. You know, a lot of people just aren't going to do that, no matter if it is paying out $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. They're just, you know, they already know there's going to be a top level of teams that are going to withdraw that money. They're just going to try to go in there strike for a little bit. So to pay that, it trickled down to end up being only 43 pro teams. They had, you know, 40 or 50 backyards, and they still paid the backyard pretty good. But I mean, it was a good event. It's just, hell, that's not a state that likes our stuff. But now the good thing is there's only one contest in Alabama next year. So if you go to Gaston, I think that's going to end up being a auto to the jack next year.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Or it could be a mid-pack.
Yeah.
Man, I've always been good at Gaston.
Yeah.
So Gaston, for whatever reason, I've always I've cooked it, I don't know, 2 or 3 times. I've done good there. So
Yeah. Well, you might want to put that on your schedule next year. So,
Yeah, we have
as
to.
far as I know, that is the only Alabama cook next year, unless something changes. That's what we were talking about this past weekend. So, unless somebody knows something different, man, that's going to be your auto.
And are you cooking this weekend? Is there anything else going this weekend?
Yeah, going up to Van Buren, Arkansas. So, trying to keep cooking, man. Try to keep cooking good and pop one of these things. And so we're going to roll up solo to Van Buren, which is right there on the border of Arkansas, Oklahoma, and cook that. Then take a week off. Then we start doing our go up to Virginia and hit those and trying to get in the Galax, but they're full. So I'm on the wait list. So I'm either going to be Wise, Virginia 1 week, Galax the next, and or Laverne, Kentucky after that. So we'll see. We got options.
How far are those drives for you, Wes?
About 10 hours. It's not as far as for me to go to a Texas cook still, so we're good.
Texas has got to be shorter than that, though, huh?
No, it was about 10 or so hours for me to get there, but it's about the same. So that is on the edge of my territory. So I'm going to go up there and cook, go work my territory, come back, either do Galax or, like I said, go do Kentucky, which they're both only an hour away from Wise.
What's Christmas on the River?
Yeah, I didn't think it. Well, Ron, you're right about that. But Christmas on the River, it has always been hard for them to be a qualifier. For the last few years, I don't think it's been a qualifier. Now that may change because they're changed. That's in Demopolis, Alabama.
Is that a KCBS or is it?
It is a KCBS. Now they went away again. Someone can correct me. I know Little Gringo is on here, but Christmas on the River, as he said right here, it's. They just have a hard time with it being in December of being a qualifier, but it used to be the end of the year points. So it was easy for it to be. This year, the way they're doing this whole extra 2 months to correct this, it's not going to be at the end of the year. So I doubt it's a qualifier. But next year, the following year, it will be one of the last cooks of the year. So it may come back. And I hope it does, because I'd hate to see it leave. I mean, it's a good contest. Little small town right on the river. They do a good job, but it's just everybody's tired. They don't want to cook in December.
I got you. But Hannah, she got in there on dessert, huh?
She did, brother. She was happy about that. She's been dialing in on her cheesecake, and she'd made a couple of changes that, man, it was perfect. We always have this little funny thing that, me and my daughter, when she cooks, if she does good, I do good. So, we've done something. We've actually GC'd some together. It's different with Hannah. If she does really good in dessert, I'm going to get my ass handed to me. So when they called her up top 3 and she won 80, I just sat back and said, I'm going to watch everybody walk today. And I had everybody behind me laughing because they know it too. They were like, yeah, just sit your ass down. And, we had a couple of calls that actually were tied for calls, but we lost a tiebreaker and didn't get up there. We won the wild child, but we sat most of the day and we watched it. So I was happy for her.
Did you win your table?
Yeah, I won a couple of tables, and I was second and third on the other two, but those other ones fell to 23rd and 26th out of 43. So that dropped me to 18th. I mean, we had a decent score, but it was so tight, and you like any good cook, you got to be lucky and hit the right tables.
Yeah, so, for sure.
I don't even bitch about it anymore, man. Where it screws me one contest, it helps me the next contest. So there's no reason to complain about it.
That's right. It definitely works both ways for sure. So.
Yep, absolutely. So.
And then Phil, you're Rhode Island next weekend, yeah, and then
Rhode Island next weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll turn around Monday and fly to LA for like a day or two, and then we'll be catching a flight to New Zealand for a few weeks. So,
yeah.
And how many weeks you're in New Zealand? 2 or 3 weeks?
Like 3 weeks in New Zealand, and then we'll hop over to Australia for a week, and then work our way back to Minnesota. My truck and trailers up there, and probably hit some contests, working our way down. Try to stay out of Texas as long as we can for that heat.
Yeah, no shit.
End up being back late August or something like that at the house ish.
Gotcha.
Well, that'll be good.
Well, I hear it's hot down there. Somebody asked earlier. It's 57 here right now. Who was asking?
Right.
It hadn't got over. That's the high for today. Earlier in the week we had some 70s, which is actually pretty warm. The sun's a little different here, but not complaining because I know it still wasn't 110 in Texas. But
it's 9 o'clock at night, still 80 degrees here.
Yeah. Well, it's just brutal in Texas in the summer. So
yes, it is.
Yeah, enjoying some nice weather for sure.
Well, enjoy it while you can. You're gonna get enough of it when you get back.
Yeah, there'll still be some left for me. It won't all be out of its system.
They have to-go boxes waiting for you when you get back.
We've had plenty of Christmases in the 80s.
No shit.
What's little Gringo saying about the points?
That's interesting. Yeah, that'll be good. And that's what they're going to. If they change it like they're supposed to, everything will go back to January to December, which is the way it should be, honestly.
Okay.
So that'll help that contest in Demopolis, Christmas on the River out. And
right.
If it didn't change, I could see them dying off. But
where's that contest, Wes?
Demopolis. So it's in between, basically. God, I'm trying to think.
I don't even know what
Highway 20 and Montgomery. I mean, it's as you're going down Montgomery off of 59, maybe. So it's in the middle of nowhere.
Alabama.
I should have just said Alabama. You got it.
Well, then would that not be a qualifier?
Well, it hasn't been a qualifier in a while because, like I was saying, it's never been the end of the year except several years ago. And when KCBS changed the points for it to be whatever it was to October, however it is, that I'm not even going to say it because he's not here. Nobody gives shit. Since he's out, I'm just going to stop. We're making changes. When his circle stops spinning, we'll finish if he cares. We're just being honest here on the Shiggin Prod Show.
Nobody gives a shit, right?
I'm more surprised that Brian Fox actually is not on Social Security. I didn't know he had a job.
He's paid by Facebook to make comments. Yeah,
I think so. Here we go. We're getting him back. Matter of fact, we've even got him on here. His circle's still spinning on another one.
Yeah, the laptop died, and once it dies up here, it's dead. We don't have power.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're all fucking hydropower.
Yeah. Look. So Robert Smith can't even get a signal at his house. Yeah. Man, I've got better signal than him. Like, really?
Is that a food cache in the tree over there? Are you going up here to get all your refrigerated stuff and all your meat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Man, Bobby, you need to get them to get it together on that internet where you're at, bro.
He's in Hempstead, It's almost like Alaska. Yeah.
Dude, that's a badass little cabin it looks like you are at.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, man. This is some off the grid shit, man. It's really cool.
So when you did your hiking today, how many pistols and bear spray did you have?
Man, we were ready. We didn't have any bear spray.
You're not trying to sting their eyes. You're trying to put them down.
We weren't trying to piss them off.
I completely get it, man.
We saw a moose, man. The vegetation, that surprised me. Like there's like bushes and shit and like a lot of green vegetation. I guess, man, it's so suppressed most of the year. It's ready to, spring out this time of year. But we did see a moose up on the mountain and, man, it was just kind of, and you can see for 10, 20 miles out. You can see forever. It's crazy. Yeah. Super cool.
Man, Lucas is saying you better pack some warm clothes because it's cold over there. So.
How cold? Define cold.
Define cold, Lucas. So I don't know.
And don't tell me no Celsius bullshit. Give it to in Fahrenheit so we can understand.
Speak to us in the Lord's English.
Mm-hmm. And Carmen's said that, and like, you're not bringing any. I'm like, of course I got my shorts and I got socks and stuff, and we bought this on the road, this little like zip up pullover sweatshirt thingy. And then we go up in the mountains today. Like, man, you're gonna bring a jacket? I'm like, man, this is all I got. You know, and like it could get cold up there. Like, man, what's cold? Man, 30s and 40s. Nah, shit'll be all right. I'll just put socks on.
Yeah. Lucas, just because you have a heater on, man, you could have diabetes. If you don't have circulation in your feet, how cold is it?
And no circulation in your feet.
Down to the 30s.
Every now we're talking. I think
30s.
he'll just drink more. He'll be all right.
I think Dirk
It'll be fine. I love it.
Jody will be over there as well. Yeah.
Nice.
See that? Yeah. Are y'all going New Zealand or Australia or both, Jody? I don't know which direction they're going, but I think they're going over there. So
they'll have a good time, man. It's fun over there.
Yeah.
Shit. I can't believe you're not going, Bill.
No, I'm staying. Man, we're staying home. You know, we're staying close to home.
Gotcha.
I got all that money, you know. So, oh, Dirk's not going. I guess Dirk's not going, huh? Just Jody, maybe. So, I think Dirk's commenting from the rib cook-off page. So,
Daddy, you're right. Unless the wind's what kills you, man. I don't mind the temperature. That damn wind will get you every time.
Well, boys, I guess we'll shut her down. Our guest is, you know, he left us early, and man, unless you got something else y'all want to talk about, but
I think people wanted to hear from Robert, so they can hear us BS anytime.
Pretty much. So, close her down. See you guys next week.
Good, fellas.